I would like to say something about my teacher. And I don't think it's easy to understand, unless you're involved in the Dharma community, how pure, how sublime, how omniscient, how extraordinary this Lama is, and how orthodox he is. Everything that he does is by the book. And yet, in my case, he's made very many exceptions. And I think that's an indication of his wisdom and also his concern for Western students. He has indicated to me that he saw from the very beginning that I had some important function to play out with Western students, that I had a particular mission, if you will, concerning Western students, and that even with Western students, I also had a particular mission concerning female Western students. That it's my job to give them confidence. It's my job to make Western students understand that this is not some crazy exotic religion meant for only a certain people, but that in fact this is the Buddha's teaching, and the Buddha's teaching is meant for all people, that it is reachable and attainable, and also that we as Americans can consider it our religion.
The Venerable Tulkus and Lamas. This evening we're gathered here together, also together with our Washington Sangha. And on this occasion, I would like to reiterate some information that maybe some of you are not aware of, and that is that initially, of course, the founder of the great Peyul tradition and the individual who was responsible for the establishing of the original mother monastery, the Vidyadhara, the great Kunzang Sherab, his sister, Genyen Ahkön Lhamo, lived her life at that time, and initially when I first traveled to the United States and I met Jetsunma, on that occasion I noticed that she had developed in her mind stream a very great development of the bodhicitta, the awakened mind, and that she had taken the vow to work for the welfare of all parent sentient beings according to the meaning of the awakened mind. And in dependence upon that, she had students who were following her example, and that this bodhisattva vow was being taken by them, and they were making prayers that were ongoing as a vigil for 24 hours throughout the day and night. And this is something that was going on for some years without ever stopping. And so this is what I first came to notice, such a remarkable thing. And at this time in the Western country, in her situation, it wasn't really a circumstance whereby she was depending upon a teacher to be trained, and that she had been trained and was doing this kind of practice from that point of view of having trained or having learned it from another. But in fact, it was natural. It was a natural practice and a natural development of the bodhicitta. And it seemed to be something very pure and great. And so to me, I felt quite amazed. And then I thought about it on many occasions after that. I'm not someone who claims to have much experience or any kind of clairvoyant insight at all, but I do have thoughts which come to mind from time to time, and in examining the reoccurrence of my thoughts, I came to realize that she was an individual who was blessed in carrying the same mind stream and prayer as the sister of Kunzang Sherab, Ahkön Lhamo. And so I recognized her to be the reincarnation of Ahkön Lhamo. However, because in the West, the concept of tulku, which is intentional manifestation embodiment, is not something that people are necessarily accustomed to, nor something that they necessarily would understand. And so realizing that if I just, sort of suddenly laid out this fact, that it might be something that would be too potent, or it would happen too quickly for what people could really understand, I didn't speak about it for some time. Generally speaking, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, for the purpose of sentient beings, they manifest in whatever way it can bring benefit to others. And this is due to the force of their prayers and their compassion. And in dependence upon that, they will take rebirths that are undetermined and uncertain and manifest in various ways. Anywhere, at any time, in any place. And so it's not to say that they don't manifest in the Western countries, certainly they do. But because the tradition of discovering a tulku is not something that is common to the West, then I was not inclined to make a recognition just right away like that, bearing these facts in mind. And also to make a recognition of a tulku in the West, I also came to know is not something that would be disagreeable to the students there. It was something that was entirely wanted and very agreeable. And so, knowing that and finding the right time upon my return, I did make a formal recognition, and I was overseeing the formal enthronement of Kunzang Sherab's sister, Ahkön Lhamo, as she is. Now, this is not something that you don't all already know about, but I'm reiterating it here on this occasion just to make it very clear. And now in Washington, D.C., under the guidance of Jetsunma, we have a very strong and well-established Peiyul Dharma Center that is a seat for the Peiyul lineage and is being upheld accordingly, and this is something that has been established and has been maintained for many years now. And so this is the type of activity that she is conducting for the purpose of the doctrine, along with the help of her sangha and the honor of the morality that is maintained by the greater sangha community that surrounds her. And in Washington, Jetsunma teaches to her students, and the students maintain the confessional practices and other requirements, and she also maintains regular teachings to several hundred students who are practicing now under her guidance. And also in the countries in the West, right now our center in Washington has the largest ordained community of disciples who have taken the formal vows of lay and novice and full ordination. Of course, there are Western students who have embraced these vows in other centers and in other places. But the largest community is the Peiyul Center in Washington under Jetsunma. And also, of course, I would also like to thank you for your efforts in establishing the Peiyul doctrine, the Nyingma doctrine in general, and the greater doctrine of the Buddha in its entirety. I would like to thank Jetsunma and all of her students, and also for their efforts that are shown towards attempts to help us achieve a free Tibet. So thank you very much.